then this person writes, if someone comes to my house and injures themselves while intoxicated in my house, am I responsible for their injuries? And here it is on the...
That's a great question. For a couple of reasons. Number one, people wonder a lot, what are my responsibilities in my home to keep it safe, and what happens if somebody gets injured in my home? Put the intoxication aside. There's a concept in Ontario called occupier's liability. So if you have a house, you are responsible for making sure that it's safe. So you have to make sure your sidewalk is clear, you have to make sure your steps are safe, that you have hand railings, that it meets the building code, that you have proper lighting. All of those things are homeowners' responsibilities.
And even someone is uninvited into your house.
That's right.
They can still...
Yeah, that's right. So if, you know, or somebody dropping off newspapers or something, even if you didn't ask for them, you can still be held responsible if your house, inside or out, isn't safe, up to standard. So most people have homeowners insurance that has liability coverage, so you'd probably have insurance coverage for that, but you know, you may have a deductible or something else that you won't like. So you want to make sure that you keep your house in good repair. You want to make sure that if you are a tenant, that you consider tenant's insurance for that reason too. The landlord may be on the hook, but depending what it is, it could be you. So, you know, generally speaking, you're responsible for what happens in your house.
Apartment dwellers and condo owners.
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's the condominium corporation. Like if it's a common area that's not safe, the condominium corporation can be held responsible. But definitely there is liability, again, responsibility for what goes on in your house.
That's why I don't like having visitors. That's why I'm a homebody.
Yeah, don't let anybody in your house.
All right. We have one email question and then a viewer phone call, about 3 minutes here. What do you do when you are in the process of a claim but are not able to work in the meantime? What are your options?
Okay, well that is
Thanks, Stacey.
That's a very difficult question. A lot of people have. If it's a car accident, hopefully you qualify for income replacement benefits. All of us who have no-fault insurance have coverage for income replacement now. It's only $400 a week, but for a lot of people that can at least help them get by. So that's number one. Number two, if it's not a car accident or you don't qualify for income replacement benefits, there is sick EI. There's 15 weeks of employment insurance coverage for people who are injured, as long as your doctor will support that claim. But it is a very, very difficult situation for a lot of people.
And it ranges too by the time you make the claim until there's a settlement too.
Oh, absolutely.
Anywhere
10
between
years.
months to years.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a phone call. Hello, caller. Who is this? Debbie?
Yes.
I believe. Good morning, Debbie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. What's your question for Brenda?
Yes, Brenda. I was injured leaving, actually a bingo, the last day of February. And I was crossing the street, coming out of the bingo, and there was nobody coming either in or out, walking, driving, nothing. And so I'm very cautious. I've never broke a bone in my life, and I'm to be 57 in July. So I'm coming out of the bingo, and I'm almost in the middle, I think, of the road. My husband's parked across the street at the other parking lot, and I get almost across the street, and I see this light to the right of me, and it's a car coming out of the parking lot. Well, of course, he's going to stop, you know. I'm in the middle of the road. He's going to stop. But when I saw the light, I kind of changed I was standing in the same place, but I changed my legs to turn to look. Thank God I did that, because he hit both legs and broke them very badly. And I've been in the hospital since the last day of February. Started at the Malford, and I'm at the Pearly.
Have you made any phone calls to a personal injury lawyer yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I do have insurance through my husband's vehicle insurance, which I didn't know until I was informed by a friend here. And thank God for them right now.
Yes.
Because I'd be out of pocket a lot of money.
Yes.
And so I just don't know what to do.
First thing she needs to do is make a phone call.
Yeah, this is definitely a case where you need to have a personal injury lawyer involved, and fairly quickly, because you want to get a liability investigation done. That's, you know, make sure that usually pedestrians aren't at fault, but drivers come up with all sorts of excuses why they hit pedestrians. So you need to have somebody investigate that before too much time has elapsed, so that you can nail down the driver's responsibility for it.
Was there a police report too? Okay, our caller's gone.
Yeah, well, often there will be a police report, canvass the area for witnesses. There's all kinds of things that you can do, but the longer time passes, the more difficult it is. And I mean, this is a case that we would handle very readily. We do lots of pedestrian injury cases, and it's one where I'd love to hear from Debbie if she wanted to give us a call.
Well, get well, Debbie. I know you just left the
Yeah,
phone.
good
Hopefully
luck.
you're still watching, and hopefully that advice helped. We have another caller, I believe. Joe on the phone. Good morning, Joe. We have to make this quick. How you doing?
Not too bad, yourself?
Pretty good. What's your question for Brenda?
Well, I got injured about 20 years ago by a phone receiver from somebody's hand. Now, I took him to court, and he had no money, so they ended up giving me pain and suffering to the courts, and they fixed my teeth. Now, my teeth need to be fixed again. Is there any way I can go back to the courts and maybe get them to fix them again, or that way I don't have to go through my insurance company?
So this is an event that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's an event that happened 20 years ago, and you did get some compensation for it. This is a very important question and something that people need to keep in mind. Once you resolve a claim, that's it. So if you're going to accept a settlement or accept a payment to settle a judgment, anything like that, you've got to make sure it's enough money, because you don't get a second kick at the can. So it sounds like Joe actually did get some compensation. That's it.
And it's something the personal injury lawyer should think about as well on your end. Think of long term.
That's right. What happens more often than not is that it's people who settle their cases themselves who don't contemplate the future or think they'll be fine.
That dollar sign is attractive enough that they'll stop at that.
They need the money now, and that's, they don't necessarily think of the future.